In content creation, there's this idea called yoink and twist, right? The idea is you watch your favorite content creators that are out there, you see what interesting ideas and videos that they're coming out with, and then you put your own spin on it, right? You do kind of the same idea, but a little bit different so that your audience isn't like, wow, they completely scammed that other better YouTuber than you. And, that's usually a really smart thing to do and probably something that I should do. But instead, I watched the video and I was like, oh, this is a really good idea. I don't know how to make it better. So I'm sorry, Nelson. I'm stealing your idea of rebuilding your board game collection with just $200 because I think this is a pretty cool idea, and I want to do my own version of it and talk a bit about it. So one thing I want to note with Nelson's video, which by the way I will link down below, so I'm not completely stealing it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that helps, a citation or something. But I'll link it down below. Make sure to check it out because here's the thing. Nelson is a man of culture. Nelson is a man of friends and family that seems like that likes to play board games. I am not, right? It is just me. I have myself and you all. So his collection is very diverse. It's very interesting in the way he picks things. I don't really have that. And I feel like he is also the type that likes to play different games. I also don't do that. I get really hyper focused on basically a game or two at a time, and that's about it. Now, I have a decent enough board game collection, probably like 150, 175 games. I play probably about 10 right now, and that's being generous to myself, playing 10. So when I was coming up with this list, I kind of jokingly at first I said, well, it really just be one game. But the truth is, it probably would be just one game I would spend $200 on at this point, and that's Hoplomachus Victorum, and then the premium health chips in the chip bag, I guess, just because I have to spend $200. But that's it. That's all I would do. And the reason being is because when I'm not streaming or creating content for Marvel Champions, what I'm playing on like my free time is Hoplomachus right now. I am obsessed with this game. I love it so much. I love the campaign system. I love going through it. I love everything about it. This and Final Girl are basically the two games I'm playing right now. That's it. Obviously, I play Marvel Champions on stream. I play it for the Sunday morning thing and whatnot. I do it all for that. But when it's just me playing by myself and not trying to create content or anything, I'm only playing these two games, and that's how it's been for now at least a month now at this point. I love Final Girl. For $200, I would just buy this box and then probably like the mat or something because I like neoprene mats. But that's it. That's all I would get. And Victorum, it has all the mats and stuff in it. I like the chips. I like the bag. That's what I would get. The only thing outside of that I would consider is maybe Hostage Negotiators Career Bundle, and get the mat also for that. Just because I really like the career version. It's a bit longer than like what Final Girl is. Like to go through a whole career takes like a pretty decent amount of time, but it's not as long as Victorum. So maybe that would be in there. But I also don't want to like mix and match those three things, right? So like for example, you could take $150, not get these upgrades for $50, and then okay, maybe I'll buy a Final Girl in one box. That's all right, but I'm going to get bored of Happy Trails pretty quickly, right? So I want all the variety. I think that's what makes this game so cool is the variety. I think that's what makes Hoplomachus Victorum so cool is the variety. That's what makes Hostage Negotiator, wow, I could talk today, so cool is because of all the variety. That's what I would do with $200. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like that's a really terrible thing, and I should probably, think about expanding my horizons with board games, but that's just how I am with games. I get super hyper focused on the game for a decent amount of time. Excuse me. Now, people have asked about Too Many Bones, right? What would you do with Too Many Bones? And the problem is because I'm rebuilding my collection, I wouldn't want to only spend $200 on Too Many Bones. I want all of this, right? It's the only way I know how to play the game now. I want all the gear lock options. I want the base game with Undertow. I want the Spice and Dice enemies. I want 40 days in Agent Tyranny. Like, I want all this stuff. I want premium health, all of it. So I couldn't just spend $200, even though it's my favorite game of all time. It just doesn't make sense for me. I would have to go kind of all in on it. So who knows if Victorum will eventually be to that point if they keep putting expansions out for it. That could be a thing that happens. And then Victorum maybe wouldn't be a $200, buy anymore. The nice thing with Final Girl is I feel like it's solidified in series 1. Now when series 2 comes out, I might think it's better, and then it's like okay, then you get series 2, right? But you probably don't need series 1 and 2 if you're only spending $200, right? So that is one of the I guess nicer things. And Hostage Negotiator, I'm pretty sure they're done with it. So once you get it, you're kind of good right there. But anyway, That's what I would invest in. Now, I know we focus a lot on LCGs in this channel, especially Marvel Champions, and I would quickly bring up that Arkham Horror would kind of be an option for me. Getting the core box and like the Dunwich cycle would get you at $160. So you have $40 left. And then, maybe I could like buy a part of Carcosa, I guess. I don't know. It's so expensive to buy nowadays. It's kind of nuts. So I don't know exactly what I would use. Or what else I would get. Maybe a standalone pack or two. Maybe if you could ever find Barkham Horror, which is a pretty funny version of the game. But I don't know. Maybe I would, but I would also want all the other cycles because I know eventually I'll get bored of doing that same cycle over and over and over. So now let's focus on Marvel Champions for a second, because if I could only spend $200 on Marvel Champions, right? That's it. You can't spend any more money. And I'm just using MSRP. I know you can get it actually cheaper, usually through like other, not retail, but distributors and whatnot. I know I could get it cheaper this way, but it's just easier to use these prices. You have to get the core box. I would probably get Rise of Red Skull and Sinister Motives because I'm a big Spider-Man universe fan. I really like that universe. So that puts me at what? 90, 70 is 160. So leaves me with like $40. So let's just say you $40 can get you about 3 hero packs. Excuse me. I would probably get Spider, maybe Spider-Ham, because again, the Spider Universe. Probably either Scarlet Witch, Wasp, and or Miss Marvel. Right? That's probably like the order too I would get things, and how I would do it. And that would be it. But the problem is then I wouldn't have sleeves. I wouldn't have a playmat. I wouldn't have tokens. And that's a part of my issue with Marvel Champions, is that for me, I would want to go all in on it. And it's a big investment. It's a lot of money to invest into the game. But just to only spend $200 would be kind of tough for me. But I guess that's how I would kind of approach it, is those two boxes. If I'm only spending $200 at first and then eventually getting everything else, I'd actually probably do Marvel Champions and then like the Mutant Genesis cycle, right? The X-Men cycle, because it's so easy to catch up with that. And then start with the Rise of Red Skull after that, and then just work my way through, just naturally. Maybe do Sinister Motives instead. I don't know. But Mutant Genesis actually feels like a pretty decent starting point, because the villains are hard, but they're not like overly hard. But they're a bit tougher than Rise of Red Skull, which you might get bored of like a little bit quicker. So anyway, that's my version of Nelson's video. I know a couple people asked me for it, and I finally got around to it. But that's the thing. I am not the type of person that likes to buy a bunch of different games and play some sometimes and some other times. I like to get super hyper focused on the game, really focus in on it, and just try to explore as much as possible. And for me, it'd be Victorum and Final Girl, possibly Hostage Negotiator. I just think they're such fantastic games, and I think they're great. So anyway, let me know. You had $200. What would you do? Would you buy a complete, like everything of all one game? What game would that be? Would you buy a little bit of everything? What games would you buy? If it was just Marvel Champion stuff, what would you spend $200 on Marvel Champion stuff on? So let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, hit the like button, hit subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you all next time.